All right, so you want to draw. You want to draw. What's the first step? There are many, many different ways to approach drawing if you're new to it. But one thing I can definitely recommend is warm-ups. A lot of people talk about warm-ups as a sketch that you do. And while that's valid, I think you can break it down a little more simply to just hand-eye coordination techniques. And these are all over. So these aren't the only ones you can do. You can make up your own. These are just ones that I've collected from asking the same question of how do I get started? And this is also something I really like to do when I'm trying to draw, but it's just not coming out right and I don't want to do anything else and just I can't get my head around it. So I just practice hand-eye coordination. So one that I love to do, and this is one that I do in my notebook at work, when I'm in a meeting, if I'm with people and being social or doing something where I shouldn't be drawing, I still do this. What we do is we just make some lines. And you want to draw from the shoulder, which means you're going to lock your wrist in place and just move your whole arm. And don't worry about these lines being perfect or lines being straight, because you're going to get that mastery over time. And then from here, I like to connect my lines. I like calling this a brick wall. And then this is a little harder to do with your whole arm. It's good to practice it. I do find myself flicking my wrist a lot, which is not great. But if you keep practicing doing it from the shoulder, you're going to get a little better at it each time. The idea is to get your smaller lines to go from the top line to the bottom line without passing or without leaving a gap. And just, I alternate because one, it shows off better where I've gone over and where I've stopped short. But also, I'm building a brick wall. It makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something. And then also, you're going to want to try to make sure these lines are straight. I have a curved line here. These are just things to keep in mind when you're starting out doing this exercise. Some of these look pretty good, some of these not so much, and that's the point. It's fine. So let's do another one of those just real quick. And see, even without mastering this, I still feel like I'm getting something accomplished. My arm's starting to warm up. And I like to move on to another exercise. This one, you can call this target practice. You can call this, oh, that was great. Let's stand in awe of this awful circle that I attempted to make. Slow clap. You can call it target practice. You can call it making a bullseye, whatever. It's just making circles. Let's make like a good circle. Okay, there we go. There's a good circle. And ideally, you would want to try to get your circle to connect, but I'm not there yet. That's okay. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to try to make another good circle. Again, trying to connect didn't work out super well, but we have this space here. I wanted to keep, the idea is I wanted to keep this well portioned all around. I had a bow outward here. It's fine. Let's do another one. And, and that's way off, but I'm not going over, and that's the main point of the exercise, is trying to keep your circles in each other and then not doing that. And this helps your hand-eye coordination over time. And I've been drawing for years now, and I still can't do this perfectly. So it's okay if you can't either. Okay. Another one that I like to do. This one helps, especially if you're a person who pushes really hard on your paper or on your tablet and you grip your pen really, really hard. Those are things you definitely don't want to do. You don't want to grip too hard because it's going to not only hurt your hand and your wrist, it's going to hurt your tools that you use. So if you have an expensive tablet that you're drawing on with a pen with that very delicate nib, you're going to wear it down faster. And I don't know how sturdy these things are. There is a potential of breaking it. But in addition to all these things, you will also notice that a lighter grasp will give you a little more control as you get used to it. Don't murder your pens. Don't give yourself hand aches. So this is a practice that I like to do where I just very lightly, very, very lightly make these lines. And I barely hold the pen. It's flopping around in my hand if I shake my hand. And I barely touch it to well, it's not paper, but to the tablet. And I just make these light little lines. And when I feel like I can make these lines, I go in and I'm going to alternate pressure. Alternating pressure is really great for line weight. It's great on tablets, and it's great on anything with a flexible tip. However, it is still great for mediums that have a stiffer tip, like a pencil or charcoal, because you're going to still see a difference in your line quality, and it will teach you that line quality that you're trying to achieve. So let's do a few of those. And we're going to start out super light, and then we're going to push in, and then we're going to ease up and push in and ease up. And we're just going to kind of keep doing that. Push in, ease up, push in, ease up. Just find your own pace. You're going to push in, ease up, push in. And I would say for every line that you do, get multiple iterations of pushing in and easing up, and pushing in and easing up. And if straight lines are getting a little boring for you, you can do this in many other ways. You can do circles in the same way. You can combine those other things that we were doing earlier with, do your target practice with weighted circles. You can also curves. Yeah, you can do these wavy lines. One that I saw was taking your first wavy line, and I kind of challenged myself here, but you want to get inside your wavy lines. And that's going to just all about that hand-eye coordination. You're going to, yeah, it's good practice for hair. It's good practice for other organic shapes. And even if you're just sort of subtly pressing on that, a little bit of pressure, it's still going to be beneficial to you to vary the pressure that you put on your tools. One more really good one is drawing flowers. And I don't mean fancy roses or anything like that. We're not here. We're not there. It's just this one, just this flower. And again, you're going to want to do this from your shoulder. And I remember when I was in school and the teachers were like, draw from your shoulder. And that's the first time I ever heard it. I was like, haha, what? Lol. No, that's not a thing. Yeah, they're simple, simple, simple flowers. Don't get hung up on how nice it looks. You could say it looks like a butterfly, especially if that makes you feel more motivated to do it. Oh, and like, what's that? What is that? Practice, that's what it is. You're going to start, and I'm going to make like a nice clear start point. And the idea is make as big of a petal as you can in the space that you got. Try to do another one, and then have it hit the same point without slowing down like I did there. Gonna do another one, and then you're gonna do another one. And then hopefully you're gonna get something a little nicer. I'm doing a slow one here. There you go. It's just the 3-leaf clover with an extra little friend there. And if you're looking to get into art and you're looking to start drawing, and drawing a person or an animal or a scene is just way too intimidating, do this first. Do these, get some practice in, and get used to your materials, get used to the feeling of drawing. And before you know it, you're going to feel really comfortable with your tools. And then you can get well on your way to making beautiful, beautiful artwork.